Hello everybody, Steve from dudehack.com, and today we are going to be listing the 7 best dating apps for finding a serious relationship. So as I said, my name is Steve from dudehack.com, which is your online dating resource, giving you everything you would ever need to know about any dating app out there. So head on over to dudehack.com if that interests you. But as I said, today we are talking about the 7 best dating apps. Just some quick housekeeping. Guys, if at any point throughout this video you do want to try any of the apps, I have listed some free trial links down in the description. And look, at the end of the video, if none of the 7 suit you, you're still unsure, look, I suggest you head on over to dudehack.com and you take our free quiz, which will tell you exactly which dating app would suit you best. In fact, I have put a link in the description down below for that as well. But guys, without further ado, let's jump into the top 7 dating apps for finding a relationship. But first, the fact that you're clicking on this video tells me that you are looking for something that's a little bit more than the not so meaningful apps that they do have out there. I mean, in this day and age, with some of the most popular dating apps being things like Tinder and Bumble that are leaning a little bit more towards the casual side, guys, it makes sense. And in this day and age, when those apps are the most popular, it's a little bit tricky to navigate to find those apps that are focused mostly on serious relationships. Or just finding one of these apps that does advertise itself as a relationship app that is actually good. So look, whether you are just moving on from some of those apps we were talking about, or you're looking for something a little bit more serious, or your heart is completely intent on finding the one, guys, I have got you covered, and we are going to be counting down the 7 best relationship dating apps. Number 7, Coffee Meets Bagel. Now, Coffee Meets Bagel's thing is all about avoiding endless swiping. Instead of playing the hot or not game and just swiping left or right constantly, Coffee Meets Bagel focuses on something just a little bit more meaningful by matching you with like-minded, compatible people that the app suggests to you itself. So essentially, look at Coffee Meets Bagel as more of a matchmaker in the form of an app. The way that Coffee Meets Bagel works is that it will send you a batch of potential matches every single day. They call them their bagels for some reason. The app was actually made by 3 sisters, and I believe they were in New York, so that's probably where the bagel reference comes from. So as I said, bagels is basically just the lingo for your potential matches. You will be somebody else's bagel too. Now, every single day at noon, you will receive a fresh batch of bagels. Then once you are suggested with these bagels, you can actually go ahead and make contact. These matches are highly filtered using the Coffee Meets Bagel smart algorithm. The algorithm works off your preferences, but also your activity. So basically it learns what you like. So the more you use it, the better it gets. Now, you don't have to just rely on being suggested these matches through Coffee Meets Bagel's algorithm. You can also use the Discovery tab to search for matches yourself. Matches that will tend to fall just outside of your preferences. Now, the user base does tend to skew a little bit younger, with 59% of users being actually under 30. Now, obviously by the video that we're watching, Coffee Meets Bagel is tending to lean a little bit more towards people finding a serious relationship. But with that being said, there is probably going to be a few more people on there compared to some of the other dating sites we're about to speak about that are looking for something maybe a tad more casual. I don't mean just looking for hookups and flings. That doesn't seem to happen on Coffee Meets Bagel as much, but probably things just like starting out dating or just wanting to see where things go a bit more. So if you're somebody that maybe fits into that category and you're not quite committed to find something very serious just yet, maybe give Coffee Meets Bagel a go. On top of that, Coffee Meets Bagel does include an in-app currency. They are called beans, and you can just use those beans to purchase different little features within the app. Personally, when it comes to beans, I suggest that you hold onto your money. But the good news on that note as well is the actual app itself is you can get quite a lot out of it without ever spending a cent. But if you did decide to become a Coffee Meets Bagel premium member, you would unlock a couple of features. For example, activity reports, which gives you a bit more of a breakdown into your potential match. For example, how often they send their first message, On top of that, you'll also receive 6,000 beans per month. And if you were to purchase more, you'll get 15% off. But as I said, you can get away with just using Coffee Meets Bagel's free version to get a decent amount out of it. The prices for Coffee Meets Bagel Premium are as follows. You can always remember just get away with the free version, or you can opt for 1 month, which will cost you $35. You can opt for 3 months, which will cost $25 per month, or a total of $75. Or you can opt for the 6-month version at $120 total, which will obviously be $20 a month. So just like almost every single dating app on this list, the more months that you opt for, the cheaper it gets per month. Now, as I said, I don't suggest that you spend your money on Coffee Meets Bagel straight away. Just start out with the free version. But guys, keep in mind there are plenty more apps on this list. This is only number 7. We've got 6 to go. Number 6, OKCupid. Now, I've had to include OKCupid on this list because in my opinion, it is the best dating app for young liberals to find a serious relationship. I say this because OKCupid is just extremely open and welcoming to all different walks of life and backgrounds. For example, you can select up to 12 different gender identities and up to 20 different sexual orientations. And yes, OKCupid might not be as laser focused on finding a serious relationship compared to some of the others that are going to be further on in this list, but I just had to include it because it is really open-minded. And in my opinion, it's a bit of a shift from dating apps like Tinder and Bumble. So I think it's perfect for somebody who is starting to get over those dating apps and is starting to think about something a little bit more serious. And especially it's a massive bonus if you are liberal. Now I just say this about liberals because literally majority of the users are liberals. So a bit of a negative depending on how you look at it, I suppose. If you are leaning a bit more towards conservative, you might feel just a tad out of place. This makes even more sense of people starting to sort of move on from those dating apps I was talking about that they might have been using in their 20s. I say this because the biggest demographic on OKCupid is aged between 25 and 34 at 40% of the users. But other than that, there's actually a really good mix of ages. I'll put up the graph now of the different percentages of users that use OKCupid. OKCupid is pretty easy to use. When you do sign up, you will have to work through a pretty extensive quiz. There's 15 questions, I believe, that you have to work through. And the questions tend to sort of float around those more political or controversial type questions. For example, would you date somebody that keeps a gun in their house? Other than that, the sign up process is really easy. And if you've ever signed up to any other dating app before, it'll be much the same. Something I do feel is important, especially for this video, to note, when you are setting up your profile, you can set what you're open to, whether that's just friendship, hookups, short-term dating, or long-term dating. So considering that only 1 out of 4 of those options really points towards a serious relationship, that kind of gives you an idea that OKCupid isn't just for that. Now, OKCupid is unfortunately one of those apps that you do have to pay some money to really get some out of it. The free version more so just gives you a bit of a free trial to see how things look, but you can't really go and freely send messages and communicate with people. There are 2 different membership levels, one being basic and the other being premium. With the basic membership, you will see who likes you. You'll get red receipts. You can remove ads and you'll be able to see other profiles' attractiveness scores. With OKCupid Premium, you get all of those features as well as Auto Boost, which is essentially just putting you as one of the most viewed profiles for a portion of every single day. The costs for the basic membership are as follows. For 1 month, you're looking at $9.95. For 3 months, you would be looking at a total of $23.85, which comes out to be $7.95 per month. And for the 6 months, you're looking at a total of $29.70, which is a pretty big monthly drop at only $4.95 per month. For OKCupid Premium, for 1 month, we're looking at $24.90. For 3 months, we're looking at a total of $68.70, which comes out to be $22.90 per month. And for 6 months, we're looking at $119.40, which comes out to be $19.90 per month. Look, at the end of the day, OKCupid has been running for 14 years and it is good at what it does. But is it the very best at finding a serious relationship? Probably not. So let's move on with the list. Number 5, Hinge. But before I get into why I have included Hinge on this list, if you want to find out everything you need to know about Hinge on a deep dive, go and watch my How Does Hinge Work video. Now, the reason I mostly included Hinge on this list is because I believe it is the perfect stepping stone from Tinder. So if you are somebody that's been using Tinder and the main reason you are watching this video is because you're just getting sick of it, I suggest that you give Hinge a try before you do move on to something a bit more serious. Like I said, you can list in your profile what you are looking for, whether that's something casual, a relationship, or you don't know yet. Hinge has even followed up on their users and have reported that 3 out of 4 Hinge dates will lead to a second. So even looking at some of the dating apps on this list further up, guys, those stats are pretty good when it comes to dating and a relationship. The age groups are skewing a bit younger, as I'm sure you can imagine. So if you are sort of, 40, 50 plus, I would suggest some of the apps further up on this list. Hinge's monthly membership is called its preferred membership. What you get with that is unlimited likes, being able to see who's liked you, and just some extra preferences here and there. So one of the best things about Hinge, in my opinion, is you can really get a lot out of it without ever having to upgrade to that membership. That membership just gives you some nice bonuses, and the real feature there that's really beneficial is just seeing who likes you. But other than that, the free version, in my opinion at least, is more than enough. But if you did decide to upgrade, let's run through the cost of the preferred membership now. For 1 month, you'd be looking at $19.99. For 3 months, you'd be looking at $39.99, which comes out to be an equivalent of $13.33 per month. For 6 months, you'd be looking at a total of $59.99, which comes out to be $9.99 per month. But just remember, if you are looking for something even a little bit more serious, I suggest that you hold on and wait for some of these others that we are going to go through. Hinge will, I promise, be the last one on this list that does have somewhat of an okay size user base that are looking for something a bit more casual. From here on out, it is mostly serious relationships. Number 4, silver singles. Now, before we get into this, guys, if you are under 50, I highly suggest that you just skip ahead over to number 4. But silver singles, in my opinion at least, is the very, very best dating site or app when it comes to finding a serious relationship for over 50s. Now, being in your 50s or older and hopping into the world of online dating potentially for the first time can be a daunting task, to say the least. Now, something that I have heard firsthand from many of my clients and people I've worked with in the past is that this whole ordeal, probably the scariest thing, is just getting onto a platform where you are surrounded by 20-year-olds. And look, let's just call a spade a spade. Really, the thing you want to avoid is feeling out of place. So Silver Singles has come up with a solution and created a platform that is strictly for 50 plus dating. That means that you will be surrounded by mostly like-minded people within your age group, so you don't really have anything to worry about. Yes, the app does let in some people that are younger than 50. I even signed up to sort of just give it a little bit of a go, but just keep in mind, obviously majority of the users are going to be 50 plus. Generally, the ones that sign up that are younger just tend to like an older significant other. The way that Silver Singles works is upon sign up, you'll work through a pretty extensive personality quiz. A lot of those answers from that quiz will be used to determine your matches. You'll be given 5 matches per day. They are basically suggested to you, like I said, based on those answers. And with this calculated approach, you can sort of rest assured that those matches are for the most part going to be compatible. Once you've completed the 100 questions in that questionnaire and you've uploaded a photo, you will then answer 7 simple questions about yourself. These questions will be displayed on your profile, just like little about me's. On the free version of Silver Singles, you will be able to get matching suggestions and be able to send smiles. But again, Silver Singles is unfortunately one of those sites where you do have to pay to really get the most out of it. The free version is really just a free trial. Speaking of that, I have included a free trial sign up link to Silver Singles in the description. So go ahead and click that now so you can go ahead and finish the quiz. With Silver Singles, rather than dating apps where you're sort of, paying for extra features in their membership, think of Silver Singles as more you are paying to play. Being part of the premium membership is essentially you getting its full capability from the app. Remember I said without paying, without becoming a member, unfortunately you won't really be able to get that much out of it. So obviously once you upgrade, you get unlimited communication and some other things like read receipts and being able to see who's viewed your profile. Now, when it comes to Silver Singles, this is where the pricing starts getting a little bit more compared to some of the other dating apps we were talking about. Now, this will be a pretty common trend on these next few dating apps that we do speak about, where a really serious, proper relationship is of the main focus. Now, look, I actually think that this is a good thing. The fact that these next few dating apps do cost a bit of money, it tells me that when you have spent some money or you do have some skin in the game, so to speak, that people tend to take it a bit more seriously. That's why some of the most successful relationship focused apps are unfortunately some of the most expensive as well. Just think about it. If you're someone who's just looking for a hookup and you just want to see what things are all about and you don't really take it seriously, you're a little bit flaky, are you going to be trying an app like Silver Singles or Tinder? I think you know which one that person would pick. So just a warning that the next few aren't exactly cheap, but in my opinion are worth it. So with Silver Singles, you can choose from a membership that is 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. The 3-month membership will cost you a total of $149.85, which comes in at $49.95 per month. 6 months will be $227.70, which is $37.95 per month. 12 months is $335.40, which comes out to be an equivalent of $27.95 per month. So really, to cut to the chase, what really sums this up, guys, is if you are 50 or older, you definitely need to give this app a try pronto. Number 3, Match. Now, whether you're looking to just try the dating game again for the first time in a while, or you're ready to completely settle down, Match has something for everybody. That's usually due to its massive user base. I mean, with the numbers on Match, there is something and someone for everyone. Now, even though it is listed at number 3 on this list, just because of its sheer numbers, its massive user base, yes, there are some people on Match that might not be looking for a very committed and serious relationship. But the ones that are make up a huge pool. Now, Match has been operating since 1995, so obviously it is doing something right, and it has a massive user base of 10 million paying users. So those positives are obvious. But look, on the flip side, the one thing I will add is that with so many people, look, you do run the risk of having to wade through a few profiles that might not be your cup of tea first. Match is even so confident that you will find a partner using its app that if after 6 months you haven't found the one, it will give you its next 6 months free. But this could possibly just be a way to keep you on the app, but hopefully not. Match works by allowing you to scroll through profiles that match your preferences and have similar interests to you. One thing to note is that you can start a conversation with anyone, and the same goes for you. So if privacy is very important to you and you don't want strangers essentially just messaging you, maybe I would advise you against using Match. Over time, Match's algorithm will learn more about you based on your activity, and therefore this will affect your suggestions. So basically what I'm getting at is, again, just compared to some of the other dating apps on this list, the algorithm gets better the more you use it. With such a massive user base like Match, that's obviously going to be a really effective feature. Unfortunately, just like a lot of other apps on this list, with Match, you are quite limited on its free version. You will have to upgrade it in order to freely communicate with everybody. And again, when it comes to the membership, all you got to know is you got to pay to play. That's what the membership gets you, not a bunch of fancy features, really just the ability to freely communicate with everybody. There is another paid membership even on top of that, but the only difference really with that one is it gives you a couple more features, for example, like a free monthly boost. Boost being that feature that puts your profile out to more profiles for a certain amount of time, so you ultimately get more eyes on your profile. For the paid membership of Match, you can choose from 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, and the prices are as follows. For 3 months, you're looking at $77.97, which comes out to be an equivalent of $25.99 per month. For the 6-month membership, you're looking at $137.94, which comes out to be $22.99 per month. And for a 12-month membership, you're looking at $239.88 in total, which is an equivalent of $19.99 per month. Overall, Match is great for somebody that does want a massive dating pool and wants free reign to be able to message anyone. If you've got some really good openers, maybe Match is for you. Number 2, Elite Singles. Now, Elite Singles is for the affluent, the career-driven, and or the educated. What I'm getting at is most of the Elite Singles users actually have a bachelor's degree, have a successful career or are busy professionals, and or have a fairly high disposable income. The focus is on finding like-minded people from similar backgrounds. The app recognizes that people from similar backgrounds do tend to naturally shift towards each other anyway. So the app just sort of cut to the chase and made a platform. Now, the whole elite thing might sound maybe a little bit sort of cringy to some people, but look, at the end of the day, it is just a platform to meet similar people that might be just as busy as you, but on the same token, have the same views as you, i.e. take their career as serious as you and things like that. Also, if you are somebody that does have a fairly high disposable income and look, you are sort of worried about how people do perceive you, or maybe you are just after your money. A lot of people like that tend to use Elite Singles so they can find someone who's sort of on a similar financial level as them as well. Look, for a dating app that is tailored towards people with high disposable income, you might be wondering, how does the app actually keep out people that might be doing the wrong things? Well, Elite Singles does say that it manually checks every single profile that does sign up, and it does have state-of-the-art fraud detection software. What exactly that means, I'm not entirely sure, but hey, it sounds pretty top notch. Like a lot of other dating apps on this list, Elite Singles will match you using its algorithm based on your answers from a pretty long quiz. The quiz is more of a personality test that really gives you a breakdown of your personality to hopefully match you with somebody that you would be compatible with. The majority of users on Elite Singles are ranging from the age of 26 to 44. So if you're in that age group, there's going to be a perfect mix. Now, Elite Singles is free to explore, but just like many other dating sites on this list, to really get the most out of it, or even get, a bit out of it, as in message people and things like that, you will need to upgrade. Now, for a dating site that is focused on the affluent, you can imagine that it's not going to be cheap. So let's jump into Elite Singles prices. For 3 months of membership, you would be looking at a total of $209.85, which is an equivalent of $69.95 per month. For 6 months, you'd be looking at $323.70, which is an equivalent of $53.95 per month. Or for 12 months, you'd be looking at $479.40. which is an equivalent of $39.95 per month. So you can see there that the prices aren't exactly cheap, but on the same token, like I mentioned, for a site like this, look, if you are part of that demographic, you just want to make sure it stays true to what it is by keeping out the people that might not be taking it seriously. So that paywall in its way, and a pretty big paywall at that, guys, I like to look at it as a pretty good thing. But whether or not that just fits in your budget, I guess that will be the telltale sign whether or not you should give Elite Singles a go or not. But do I think Elite Singles is the best dating app for finding a relationship? No, because the number one dating app, in my opinion, for finding a relationship is eHarmony. Now, a stat that I have said on this channel a few times, which still blows my mind, is that eHarmony is responsible for 4% of all marriages in the US today. That's a lot of marriages. On top of that, it is responsible for an average of 237 marriages per day. That's insane. So look, I could probably end this video right now according to those stats that obviously eHarmony is very effective for finding a very serious and long-term partnership. Well, if you were willing to put in the effort and you are completely committed to finding somebody long-term, then, well, eHarmony is definitely for you. Now, I say you better be committed and willing to be putting in the effort because right off the bat with eHarmony, you are diving straight into a really extensive personality quiz. Now, this quiz compared to the rest on this list is probably the most in-depth. It should take you around about 20 to 30 minutes to complete the entire thing, but the answers in this quiz will basically be how eHarmony determines who it will match you with. eHarmony is all about compatibility. It was originally started by Dr. Neil Warren over 20 years ago, who originally was a psychologist and a couples counselor. And he determined that a compatible personality is the most important thing when it comes to a successful long-term relationship. Now, those stats that I mentioned before about the marriage rates are insane, but going even further than that, talking about a successful long-term relationship, the divorce rate from eHarmony is a fraction of the US average. eHarmony offers a desktop and app version, and both of them are very well designed and extremely easy to use. The user interface is obviously something that they do take into account very, very seriously. And actually in recent years, it underwent a little bit of a makeover to just make it look a bit nicer. eHarmony does definitely have the highest success rate out of any of these dating apps in terms of finding somebody long term. That is just undeniable when we do look at the data. But taking that into account, it is also one of the most expensive. The eHarmony memberships are Premium Lite, which will be 6 months. You've got Premium Plus, which is 12 months, or Premium Extra, which is 24 months. So off the bat, you can already tell that eHarmony is all about commitment and showing that you are willing to be putting in the effort. I mean, your minimum sort of buy-in is 6 months. So you can sort of rest assured that the app isn't going to be full of flaky people that are just going to ghost you after a couple of weeks. People are there for the long term. And the prices for those memberships are as follows. For Premium Lite, you're looking at $395.40, which comes out to be an equivalent of $65.90. Premium Plus ends up being a total of $481.95, which is an equivalent of $45.90 per month. And Premium Extra, which remember is 24 months, ends up being $807.75, which is an equivalent of $35.90. Now, one thing to note is that with all three of these membership tiers, that you can basically pay for them in 4 different ways. That's either in 1 payment, 2 payments, 3 payments, or 4. The reason for this is eHarmony probably recognizes that, look, it isn't cheap, so it's just a way to make it maybe just a tad more affordable for people. Now, unfortunately, eHarmony is one of those dating sites, dating apps, which does require you to put some money down in order to really use the app, use the site to its full capabilities. Unfortunately, you will be quite limited on its free version. The free version is really just a free trial. Basically, what you can do on the free version is go ahead and complete the personality quiz. And the best part about that is then the personality breakdown that you can read. It's really, really interesting. And at the very least, you'll probably just learn something about yourself. From there, you can send winks and actually receive messages. But in order to really go ahead and freely communicate, like I said, you do need to pay some money. So if you're looking for a free app with decent capabilities, look, eHarmony probably isn't for you. But if you are willing to spend a bit of money because you are very serious to meet the love of your life, or just at least something a little bit more serious, then do not waste your time anywhere else. That's just in my opinion. eHarmony is the best of the best. Another really impressive stat that is out there is that on average, people tend to find their loved one within their first year on eHarmony at about a rate of 70%. So look, eHarmony is so confident that you will find someone that if you're not confident or you're not happy within your first 3 months that you're going to, it will then give you the next 3 months free. eHarmony also does have a nice healthy mix of all different ages, even skewing up into the older demographics. And surprisingly, in the last few years, after a few changes to, I guess, make eHarmony a little bit more hip, it has seen a bit more growth in the younger demographics as well. But look, even though all those prices, it might seem quite expensive and it might seem like a huge commitment right off the bat, what I suggest for every single person is to just start on the free version, have a look around, go ahead and complete the quiz, the questionnaire, find out a little bit more about your personality when you do, and then you might even want to wait until there's an eHarmony free communication weekend. They pop up sporadically. But when you're a member, or at least a free member, they will email you to tell you when that's on. I suggest you go ahead and you sign up now so you have your full quiz, your full profile all ready to go, and you're not spending half of the weekend getting that all set up when one of those free weekends pops round. One other thing to note is eHarmony does offer discounts a lot of the time. I have noticed that the majority of the time that people do sign up at the link that I have put in at the description, that when they sign up and they complete the questionnaire and everything, they will be offered a 50 to 60% discount on the first 3 months, I believe it is. Now, don't hold me to that. It does completely differ in, your region and things like that. But the best way to find out if there is a discount going at the moment is to go ahead and click that link and finish the questionnaire. So look, at the end of the day, eHarmony is definitely my number one pick in terms of finding a relationship, just because of its very impressive track record and it has some amazing statistics to back it up. It's been going for 20 plus years and it just seems to be getting better and better. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's around for the next 20. So guys, that basically wraps it up. Those are my top 7 apps for finding a relationship. Remember, I have put a free trial link down below to every single one of those dating apps. So if you do want to try one of them, even just sign up on the free version, I highly suggest that you go ahead and click one of them now. But if for whatever reason you're still not sure at this point, remember to go ahead over to dudehack.com and take the free quiz, which will tell you what dating app will be best for you. The link to that is just down below in the description as well. Look, if this video has helped you whatsoever and maybe it has given you an idea of an app you are going to use, I would really appreciate if you did press the thumbs up button. It makes a massive difference, and maybe even consider going ahead and subscribing if you're not already. But I am bringing you these videos every single day for the next little while. So until tomorrow's video, be safe, be well, and I will see you later.